Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, and today's episode we're going to be talking about whether or not I believe that Big Ben can lead the Steelers to a deep playoff run or the playoffs at all. If you ask me, I think the Steelers team definitely has an uphill battle to face. Last year, obviously they had the amazing 11-0 start, but then, they really went downhill. Big Ben really fell off a cliff. Just had trouble seeing receivers, had trouble seeing when they were getting open. He just didn't have a feel for anything, and he just really struggled. But with that said, Big Ben, I think this is his last year, and I think he's got some really solid weapons to maybe go out on a high note. He's gonna have the likes of Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, or just to name a few at the wide receiver position. I think all of these guys can be really solid weapons for their guy in Big Ben. But I think their big problem is they really need to build that O-line a little more, because they really didn't do much to address the O-line. They went after a guy in Najee, which I think was a solid pick. But when you have a guy like Tevin Jenkins there, sitting there, I think you gotta take a shot on Tevin Jenkins, because I get that Najee Harris is a really good player and he fits the mold of what you want to do at running back. But where is that running back gonna run if there's no holes for him to run into or to run through? There has to be a decent offensive line blocking the way to help him out a little bit. And I think Tevin Jenkins would have been an awesome fit for the Steelers. He's a mauler, and he is what the Steelers like. He's aggressive and he's very physical. And then you have the tight ends in Eric Ebron, Pat Freiermuth, two solid guys that are going to come in and make a difference. I think Pat Freiermuth is a really good tight end coming out of Penn State. His nickname was Baby Gronk. That's that's a big name. They call him Baby Gronk. Ironically, right? You're gonna throw Baby in there and say it's a big name. Yeah, there's definitely a big name and big shoes to put Pat Freiermuth in. I don't really like that comparison. I don't really like comparing players to that extent, because you're kind of being unfair and you're kind of giving them an unfair expectation that is almost near impossible for them to achieve, but it's very possible for any player to do anything. But that comes back to my question: can Big Ben lead this Pittsburgh Steelers team to the playoff, or maybe even to a deep playoff run? And my final answer is going to be no. And that's the common answer right now. But I'm not just saying it because it's the common answer. I'm saying it because I truly do not think they're the best in the division. I think that division's going to go maybe. I think the Browns are going to be number one. The Browns are set. The Browns are ready to roll. The Browns are ready to make a deep playoff run, and they're ready to make something happen. I really like the Baltimore Ravens. They're an amazing regular season team, but they seem to struggle to get it done in the playoffs. They did it versus the Titans last year, but then couldn't get past the Buffalo Bills. But I think they're still going to be a solid team. And then I kind of think the Bengals and the Steelers are kind of going to be irreversible. I think you could. Reversible at 3-4, 4-3. Because the Bengals offense is starting to really come to fruition. The Bengals defense, they've added some players. They've added quite a few corners. I know they added a safety. I don't remember his name, and I know they added a guy from the Saints named Trey Hendrickson. But I think I'm gonna give the Steelers the edge over the Bengals just because of their defense. I think their defense is much more superior than the Bengals, and I think their defense is going to be enough to maybe at least get them third place. I think they have more weapons to Ben. They did add, Najee Harris, like I said, one of the better, a really solid receiver. He could catch out of the backfield, and he's a hard runner. He's kind of a Le'Veon Bell guy. He'll dance around the backfield, be patient. And then you have your tight ends and Pat Freiermuth and Eric Ebron. Then you have your receivers that I talked about earlier. This team is really set to be something special. And that is true if Big Ben could be decent. If Big Ben is a half decent quarterback, this team will go places and this team will be really good. But even outside of their division, nonetheless, the AFC is really packed, and the AFC is really, really tough, coming up, and, it's going to be tough to do much against, anyone in the AFC this year, maybe except for some of the teams like the Bengals, I said one, the Jets might be, still an easier team to beat, but they're not going to be as easy to beat, but I'm saying the AFC is loaded. The AFC is definitely loaded. There's 2 or 3 teams from each division that'll make it. As every year, that's quite obvious. But I don't see the Steelers making the playoffs this year. And if they prove me wrong, hey, that'd be cool. I kind of want to see Big Ben go out on a high note. I don't like when players have to go out on a low note and just fall off a cliff like he did. He doesn't deserve that because he did have a Hall of Fame career. So, if he goes on like this, that's what a lot of especially younger people and such, that's how they're gonna remember Big Ben, and he doesn't deserve that. His legacy is a legendary legacy in Pittsburgh, and hopefully he keeps that, and he will always have that. So, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you think the Steelers have a chance to win the NFC North even? I don't really think they're gonna make the playoffs, but of course, if they win the North, and then they make the playoffs because they clinch. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' thoughts. So I thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe and make sure to turn on those post notifications. And as always, talk to you later. Or I'll catch you later.